Hello, everybody. Bonjour, bonsoir à tous. Habari. Bienvenue. Welcome to this week's Wada Forum. And this week and the next few weeks for the rest of this year, we'll be focusing on hackathon support and these mentorship hours. So today's session we're calling Hackathon Lab. Community-driven hackathons. And it's so cool seeing Darlington's crew over there in Nairobi, who are all streaming this in person in the same room. So hello, everyone over there. Darlington's turned the camera on, showing you all having your lunch. Glad to have you with us. So what do you have to look forward to today? We will, of course, go through some different ecosystem updates, what's going on around Cardano in general, and then we'll get into the Tech Summit Hackathon Mentorship Corner, and then a chance for all of your questions at the end. So here's the kind of map of WADA so far, our footprint across Africa, and a QR code to different knowledge base resources from Intersect, SNet, and Catalyst, Cardano. So feel free to click there and follow more readings if you so desire. Next, we have our statement of purpose. And I would love for someone on Prisma to come forwards and read on the English side. And I know Delphi's been doing it, but I wonder, we have Noah here today. Noah, would you be so kind as to read our statement of purpose in English?
Of course. Sorry that my voice is not the best right now. It's a little bit cold in Barcelona. Okay, so our mission is to elevate underrepresented groups through the application of technology and invest it in a more equitable future.
Awesome. And your voice sounds great to me.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. And Boaz, I see you're being very reactive in the chat. Are you able to come off mute? Would you like to read the French one today?
Ok, merci beaucoup. Notre mission, élever les groupes sous-représentés grâce à l'application de la technologie et investir dans un avenir plus équitable.
Ok, merci beaucoup Boaz et merci à tous les francophones parmi nous aujourd'hui d'être venus. All right, so now we are going to go over to our community updates, and we are missing a couple people from the usual forum crowd because they are at an in-person event. The Berlin Cardano Summit is going on right now. So we have Mercy, Samuel, and then also Tabs from the Prisma side, who are all there in person together. But I do want to pass over to Nana Safo for giving sort of other updates from the community.
Well, let's go back, please, Edufa. And yeah, Megan, thanks for doing 40% of my work for me today. All right, so in terms of other updates, obviously, we know that Cardano Africa Tech Summit 2026, February 11th to 13th is just around the corner. And I mean, as WADA, we are really much prepping together with the other partners, Beyond the Code Labs, Blockchain Center, and Prisma and the rest. We are kind of really prepping to give you guys a better experience at the summit. So yeah, we are really much in that process or progress. And then from Catalyst to as shared last week, Farm 15 is launched, and also proposal submission is as well opened for proposals in the ecosystem. But as you go through, just make sure that there are some tweaks which may require you to have a second look at your proposals. So please make sure to have a look at them and then check or ensure that all the checkboxes are ticked before you make your final submission of proposal for Fund 15. And also know that community review registration is also opened, and you can also access that via the Catalyst app, and then do all of those necessary registrations, and just wait for the D-Day to actually do the work. And then from the intersect points to, as you know, we just finished the community committee voting, committee elections, if I should put it that way. And we are all awaiting results. The results are currently, or the votes are currently being audited, and the final results will be released by 12 p.m. UTC tomorrow, God willing. So if you did participate as either to be voted for, or you did voted and you are looking forward to the results, then just wait patiently for 12 p.m. UTC tomorrow, God willing, and I believe the results will be out. And I'm still saying that even though the votes are, done, or we are through with the voting period, I just want to wish all the individual candidates from our ends, good luck. Hopefully you get the seat so that you are able to serve and Project Africa as well. And then, of course, in Cardano, as we all know, the biggest thing that is happening right now in the world of blockchain is Cardano Summit 2025 happening live in Berlin. Today is actually the final day, and they have completed most of the activities. I think the outstanding activity that needs to be done right now is a few master classes, and also the dinner night, dinner/awards night, which will be happening quite shortly. And we are hoping that our brothers from Catalyst Africa Town Hall perhaps would get the reward for the nominations that they got, and then we all can celebrate as an African win. Yeah, so that being said, I think that is largely the community update from the ecosystem, and I'm glad that you are all here, and wishing you a successful event today too. Thank you very much, Megan.
All right, awesome. Yeah, it's great to hear about all those things going on. And I like this image. It just makes me think of what we're going to do in Nairobi with as many of the people here as we can. Okay, so next we're going to hand over to Prisma, and I think this probably will be a little bit of like a back and forth with Prisma. I'll probably have some interjections, and then also Darlington is going to come in to share about his experience so far, with the hackathon. But we wanted to kind of do a bit of kind of a resetting. We've kind of gotten into a rhythm of these hackathon sessions, the enrollment period, etc. So we're going to start with kind of a reset, zoom out, where are we at in the process, and then go through some more of the overview topics and how to really actively participate. So Delphi and Noah, I'll let you guys kick us off.
Thank you, Megan. So, can I share? Is that possible? Thank you. I want to share a little bit where we are at. Give me 1 second. Sorry, you're seeing my whole screen. Can you see this page? Is it visible for everyone?
Yep, we're seeing your screen.
Thank you. So I want to go a little bit back to the very beginning. This page actually is one very important page that if any of the participants haven't reached this page, I'll show you the link right now. But it speaks a little bit about every work and everything we have done so far. And I'm going to show you a little bit about the roadmap of this at the very beginning so that we know where we are right now and what do we need to do in order to move forward. So September 15 is where we launch. And then we had 3 taster calls that I hope all of you saw them, at least. They are uploaded. But if you didn't see them, don't worry, because the most important thing comes next. But we had them in October the 2nd, the 9th, and the 10th. And we spoke a little bit about the whole process, about the CUT Summit, about what was the purpose, the why, how we were holding all of this and stuff like that. In October 16th, we started with the enrollment calls. The enrollment calls back then were very, very important because it was a sort of an explanation, a summary, a way of introducing participants and hub leads into how to hold hackathons, into how to go through the whole learning process, into why these hackathons are different than the normal hackathons that we see in the everyday sort of events. And we had 3 calls, October 16, October 23rd, and October 30, and I'm going to show you the links to each one of those calls. But if you haven't seen them, these calls are really, really important because it walks you through the step-by-step. And of course, there's different dimensions about those steps-by-steps. So that's why, and we know that this is a lot of information, we've created something that supports this course, which is called a manual for hub leads. Is a step-by-step of doing the hackathon in a way that allows you to hold participants into all of that process. And in this course, you will not only see sort of the learning process, but also the tooling that we are going to be using, the onboarding of the docs, the onboarding of the timelining, and so on, and the integration with Cardano. In the 3rd call, we invited Darlington to speak a little bit about Andamio, about how to integrate all the tools and the skills that Cardano brings into your own projects. And now this is where we are. From the 1st of November till the 15th of December, we are in the hackathon phase. And this is this self-organized hackathon, community-driven, but also the leads of the hackathon will be holding a little bit of this. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions, but this is where we are. And one of the things that we want to encourage everyone is to start the step-by-step, is to onboard, is to start the whole process. We have been onboarding a few of the hubs, but we are wondering where you are. Like, where in this stage are you? What is it that you need, and how we can support you best on moving forward around this? Okay, so after this, you'll get the studio sessions and then more and more. But this is a little bit of where the whole process, and let me show you the links that where you're gonna find all of this. Okay, can you see my slideshow? Hopefully, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Excellent. So in the enrollment, the enrollment was from the 20th of October to the 1st of November. And this is what we gave you. The main page to explore. So that page that I was showing you is the docs here in Wada. And if you get inside of that page, you will see that you have all the information lined up there. But I want to sort of go into a double click on it. You have enrollment 1, enrollment 2 and 3. In enrollment 1, you will find a brief resume of the whole process. So similar to what I just did, but in more depth. So you can see a little bit further into each one of the stages and what it requires from each one of you to go through it. In enrollment 2, you will find the focus on the regenerative action learning process, which is sort of the exploration of the local communities, is finding the problem statements, is collecting all the information through a tooling that we call timelining, getting all that information, sharing it with others, and creating the groups in order to develop the projects that you want to develop. And then enrollment 3 is quite important as well, because here is sort of the leaning into action. Is we already know what the problem statement is. We already know a little bit about the project that we are going to be developing. Now we need to do the Cardano integration part. And this is key important. And this is hopefully today we'll have Darlington speaking a little bit of this, and if not in the next Thursday. And underneath it, as you see, it says manual for hub leads and participants. I recommend this manual for everyone. is a doc in Wada in the same page that I'm bringing at the very beginning. So everything is in the same place if you want to look for it. And it speaks about the hackathon and the facilitation handbook, how to facilitate a hackathon. What should I do? What are the step-by-steps? What are the toolings that I'm going to be using? Can I do a double click on it? So you have all of the information that you need in this slide, and we're going to share it with you. If anything happens here, like here is the information. But in any case, we do have this mentorship sessions that are really important to engage with. And now, after this, maybe, Megan, I was thinking maybe we can stop a little bit and see if there is any question, and then invite Carlos and Noah to explain a little bit further on the step-by-step of the very first moments of the hackathon. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I just wanted to emphasize something, if everyone's paying attention to the chat. So, there are a lot of links on this page, but all of these can be found through that one main website, docs.wada.org.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to really highlight that. And the reason for this slide of putting things together is really wanting to make sure there's no blockers. Like, it's really clear where these different things are. Some people were on these different calls. We had 3 different calls for enrollment, 1, 2, and 3. You can go and watch that whole recording. But there's other resources on those sites that I think would be more valuable.
Yeah.
Having to kind of go back through each of those recordings.
You have the manual, which is really sort of is a roadmap, but is a written roadmap that will work as well. And now we're going to sort of introduce the very beginning of the hackathon phase with the onboarding of the docs, the tooling, and the timelining, if in any case you haven't done this so far. So maybe we can have a little bit of a double click on that, Megan, and then we can see what are the needs and divide people in different breakout rooms depending their needs.
Okay.
Okay, excellent. Carlos, do you want to take over? I'm going to stop sharing now.
Sure. Happy to be here, everyone. So basically, we're going to do a few updates of how the development and tools are going and what is available, what is going to be available tomorrow, also more tools, what are the next steps. And also I'd like to thank you, those that been in the onboarding process, and that it's been really, really fun, to show you all the tools. And again, if you need my help, feel free to write me on Telegram. I know I gave my WhatsApp also, but feel free to let me know if you have any technical issues, and I'll run you through how to onboard on the apps. So hubs and participant tools. Propagate, like some of you know, is this app that every time we release a new tool, you can use it to get it into your organization and use it as part of your hackathon process. So what tools do we have right now? I know many of you are now familiar with the Prisma docs. In this slide, we also put we did new guides, not only how to use it, but also other dependencies that you might need for the future. So Prisma docs is where all the information of your project, your organization goes to. And also, we released this week the timelining bot. This is like, I'll explain it soon a little bit more, but this is like the backend, the software that will allow you to connect a Telegram bot, and you will be able to start recording all the decision making, all the discussions, all the things you observe as part of the hackathon, and it will be saved into a database. This bot is the first step to obtain new insights of your process. The idea is for tomorrow to release the front end, which is it's called Evaluate, which basically now takes this information and processes, and you will be able to ask for questions, get more insights, and it's really interesting. It will show you a timeline of all the contributions of during the hackathon. But the first step was this timelining bot, and you can all now get it from the Propagate app. That being said, there is some setup and some prerequisites that it needs, and we made new guides on how to install these new prerequisites. So, well, why use this setup? Well, this allows you, well, first to do a lot of collaborative work, since we're using Git. I know a lot of it is really technical, but it allows you to really work in sync with others. And also for those that are developers, you basically unlock a lot of power using JavaScript, and this will also complement your projects. I think we can go to the next slide to show you a little bit of the dependencies that you need to use timelining and Propagate, just to have an overview. I also put links in a few of these. For example, like many of you do during the onboardings, you need to have Git bash. We put a tutorial there on how to install it. This is like the version control system where you basically can collaborate with others. It's really common in software projects, and check it out. And that's like the first step. The next step is Vercel. Like in this first phase, we're using Vercel because it's easy to deploy projects to it. Like it doesn't require a lot of setup, and it has a really good, free tiers that you can use to start testing out and prototyping ideas. Even in your own hackathon projects, I encourage you to try out Vercel. It's really good to get things out, at least for now. We're gonna use for the timeline bot the Redis. Redis is a fast access database that really lets you get data and process it really fast. And it will be like the initial step that we need for using the timelining bot. It's set up in Vercel directly. It's just a few steps, and we already made a guide for you, and we'll paste it here in the chat also. And finally, there is the Telegram bot setup, because this part is manual. You have to go into Telegram. You have to talk to the it's called Bot Father in Telegram, and he will create you a mini bot for you. So you need to create that bot, save the information of that bot somewhere, and then we can now deploy the timelining app. So as you can see, after configuring the bot, we'll go to the final step, which is Propagate. There's a lot of technical I guess dependencies, but like I said, feel free to ping me on Telegram. Feel free to ping me on WhatsApp. I know I'm talking to one of the hubs. How to create that bot? I'll put the guide right here. One of the guides.
And Carlos, if I could jump in really quickly.
For sure.
So, we're here in the main room. I know we have hub leads, we have participants. So we're kind of going over a high level just so everyone's aware. It's mostly hub leads, if I understand correctly, that will be going through this process on behalf of their hub and supporting their hub with uploading, the different pieces for the projects. So I just wanted to highlight that as one point. And we will, as far as, different questions that are starting to pop up, we're thinking that after going a bit through Darlington's own example, we'll create a breakout room where you can get into sort of the Q&A that's related to more of the technical part of this stuff. So I just wanted to make sure people felt supported with that. And we'll address kind of those questions, I think, in the breakout room.
Yes, for sure. I know the technical part, there's a lot of questions, so we can handle those in breakout rooms. And yeah, a lot of these would be by the hub leads. I know that each hub is going to have its own Telegram group. So like a Telegram group must be created and then we have to invite the bot into that group, and then the bot is listening to all the conversations that are happening. So yeah, per hub, and it will be set up in the hub Telegram group. People are asking for
Perfect.
my Telegram handle and my WhatsApp. I'll put it all in the chat for now.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Carlos. I don't mean to be cutting you off. I just wanted to bring Darlington up to share a little bit about, their hub is all kind of broadcasting here from the studio, as it were. So I wanted to give him a chance to talk about how they're approaching this hackathon so far, just as an example, to give kind of that, again, sort of zoomed back view of what's actually happening on the ground. And then after hearing from him, we will open up the breakout room for the Prisma technical support to happen over there. So Darlington, I'd love for you to come up and tell us, what have you been up to?
What have we been up to, guys? Fun stuff. No, it's been a great journey. It's definitely been it's a lot, right? It's a lot. It's a mind shift. It's a new way of thinking. It's quite a bit of, feels like quite a bit of processes. Here in Nairobi, we spend 2 weeks really just getting to know each other and sort of trying to figure out who wants to commit for the full 8 weeks. Once we did that, we went through the docs today before this call together, and we were all just reading the docs and talking to each other, trying to figure out what it means. Like, one thing that came up that was really funny and interesting was the when you're doing the community walk, there's the thing that says, what did it say? Well, Harry, what did it say? Where the energy gathers, and we were all like, what does that mean? That sounds like some hippie stuff. But we all talked about it. So I'm less like leading. I think that's some of the thing that's encouraged in the docs. I'm less leading and like pointing, and we're all just doing it together, really. I'm just more holding space and asking questions that I don't understand, and usually someone has an explanation, and then other people have questions, and then we all help each other. I, as the guy behind the curtain, I wasn't sure exactly what it means for us to be onboarded as a hub. But I think what we just showed was very helpful. So I hopefully by next week we should be onboarded, because we're doing our community walk this week. So we should have some stuff to input and talk about next week. That's how it's been so far.
Can I jump in? I had a question. You talked about you've been having these meetings. Have you what's kind of have you dove into Cardano yet? Or what sort of topics are you discussing?
We have not jumped into Cardano. Now, because I'm the one putting together the Cardano content, I did have a few people jump into Endamio just to sort of help iron out any technical issues before everybody else jumps into Cardano, which should be ready. Those instructions for what the hub leads will need to do will be ready by next week to get people on board. So we did that. We did that with a small group. But for the most part, these 30 sessions have been less studying of content and more studying of each other.
No, that's kind of what I was thinking, and I just wanted to ask you explicitly so that everyone kind of saw into that and really understood. Everyone is probably at a unique point in this process, and it's a spectrum of exactly where you'll be, in those different pieces. But it's good to see, example, I guess, of how it can be going. And just to sort of mention for everyone here, he's been talking about Andamio and some of the little pieces ironing out in the background. So we are thinking that next week will be the best time to have the support session on that. So sort of similar to this week, we'll have kind of the main room and then some breakout room, more individualized support focused on the Andamio. I just wanted to touch base back with everyone in the main room and say thanks everyone for your time. We do want to keep these sessions kind of close to the hour as possible just to optimize everyone's time. But obviously all of this energy that we have is great. Let's all take that home with us to our own hubs at the own local level and continue these conversations. If you're still struggling with onboarding, please do join us in the Telegram. Other hub leads can support you, those who are already onboarded. The Prisma team can support you. The Wada team can support you. And as always, you have this Thursday session. We'll be here again next week, a similar format, but we'll be kind of pivoting to hopefully everyone's onboarding questions got resolved today or will be resolved in the week offline, kind of into next week, so we can concentrate more energy into some of the Cardano related questions and the Andamio support. So just wanted to shout out to the Prisma team for leading the technical breakout rooms, and then Delphi, I already mentioned in our chat, but to the problem sensing room. And we really appreciate everyone who joined as a participant or as a hub lead for bringing your energy, bringing your experiences to this space. And we will see you all again next week.